Tanky Dreamer, please.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. We are jumping straight into Dellons. He is the boss on floor 18 for this season. Let's take a look at his crazy skills. His main thing is his scythe, his single target attack. It actually gives him 30 hit nullification, and on his passive as well, he starts with 10. So this is the only thing you need to keep in mind. The other skills don't really matter that much. For this particular run, we are going to clear it with 1 medal clear. Okay, later on I'll show you guys a 4 medal clear. I think it is possible to do 6 medals, but I just wanted to be on the safer side. So the team we'll be using will be this particular team. Joker is here for the removal of the damage nullification hits. Okay, because Joker after all has a 7 hit skill, and this will make light work of the shield. So as you can see here, he starts off immediately with the single target skill. Unfortunately, we will not know who he will hit, so if he kills someone on your team, you just have to reset. There is no other way around it. Ideally, he will hit Lee or Evan. They can both tank it, like in this case. So upon tanking the hit, what you need to do is shield up and heal up, okay, so that your units will live the rest of the battle. Then proceed to use Joker's bottom skill to remove 7 shields. Because we have chosen the buff to give ourselves bleed on upon attack, okay, so you will see that every attack we are doing will apply bleed on Dellons, and bleed actually helps to get rid of the shields very quickly as well. Each bleed count is going to be taking off 1 damage nullification hit. So this makes getting rid of the shield very easy, and you can then attack him as per normal. So in between now and to the next single target skill, what you need to do is really just use any skill that you want. Okay, it doesn't really matter, but save the Joker skill and Lee's Taunt. Lee's Taunt should be used now when you see that the single target skill is almost ready to be used. So this will actually help you protect your team. Unfortunately, yes, Joker died because he was not very geared, but if your Joker is stronger, you can start using his skills here to get rid of the nullification. So during this period, usually you will heal up, shield up, and reset Pascal skills when needed, so that when the nullification goes away, you will immediately start damaging him with Pascal skills. Ultimately, you just have to monitor during the period where the shields are up. Okay, when the nullification is up, you just have to see your HP, whether you need to shield up, whether you need to heal up. Beyond that, there's really nothing much, because both of Dellons' skills will be used anyway, and he'll probably just be single targeting your units. So again here, cast the taunt, because you can see that his deathly size is already cooled down. Thereafter, again, now it's about getting rid of another 30 shields, 30 hit shields. Nothing much you can do. Of course, definitely save your Pascal single target for later. Don't use it accidentally and then cast it and waste it. One thing to note will be to turn off auto skills here so that you can manage better in case the AI accidentally uses a skill that you want to use. So this is a very easy 1 medal clear. We're going to look at the 4 medal clear now. For the 4 medal clear, it is important that you will use Jin, because you will get rid of the silence immunity that the buff earlier provides you. You can also actually use the extinction, give him the extinction buff, because if you realize his AoE damage doesn't really kill you, but of course we have Evan here. Alternatively, you can also remove Evan from the team if your gears are good enough, because you should be able to survive, and then you can proceed to actually use Joker here instead, because over here we are going to give him 40 shields when he uses the skill. That's the new buff. So 40 shields with Joker is going to be definitely a lot easier, especially if you're aiming for the 6 medal clear. So yes, that I believe it will be the most ideal team for this particular floor. So of course, upon landing his deathly size on the right unit, again repeat the same thing, shield up, heal up, and that's basically it. You can actually use the taunt a little earlier, because the taunt has a 68-second cooldown thereabouts, so you can actually roughly estimate when his cooldown is near there, so that you can time it properly. because sometimes he will single target Jin, and if Jin dies, there's gonna be a little difficulty in clearing the floor after that. Of course, in between his shields, just attack with Pascal, reset Pascal skills and attack again. And then you can see here, his Deathly Scythe cooldown is almost 0, right? So always cast the taunt before that. And then now with his taunt up, we will proceed to shield up and heal up where necessary, because he does have the 40 hit nullification. You can actually throw Jin's attacks at this point in time, because Jin's attacks are not really useful, okay, so they can be used to get rid of the hit shields as well. As you can see, the bleed is applying very well, and the bleed will actually help to remove the shields at this point from 4 down to 0, because you have so many bleed stacks. So on that note, you can actually give your units status effect rings if you do have them. Status effect rings, if they do land on Dellons, it can actually help in getting rid of the shields even better, especially if you are removing this particular buff for yourself for the 6 medal run. So here again, same thing, 40 shields, let's go. Shields down, now we will proceed with attacking. This will be your only window. Okay, so as you can see, you have about 30 seconds to 20 seconds, 30 to 40 seconds, this window of time to land your Pascal's attacks, and thereafter you have to re-taunt again. And basically when you re-taunt, after you re-taunt, you cannot use Pascal shields anymore, because you have to be focused on getting rid of the hit nullification first. Here we go again. This is the third time, I believe, third 40 time hit shield. Unfortunately, Jin has died here, so we need to quickly end this with this final hit. Thankfully, we do clutch it right before he uses another single target skill. So very long battle, but yeah, you can do it. And now we are going to the final boss, and that is Kris. This will be a 1 medal clear. Take note, these are the buffs that you'll give yourself. You will give yourself a single target damage boost as well as a crit damage boost. You can also give yourself death immunity ban, because you are not using any death immunity heroes, aka Leo. His gimmick is that when he is above 50% HP, he will be immune to physical damage, and when he is below 50% HP, he will be immune to magic damage. That is why you have 2 different damage dealers here. You have Carl as the AoE damage dealer, because he does summon a group of minions which you have to kill first. Okay, you have to get rid of them first, and then you can proceed to attack him. So imagine before Carl was released, people were using Shane and Pascal for this particular floor, and Shane had to single target each minion. We had to single target each minion to death, and then also wait for their immortality, their zombies to be gone, and then you can attack Kris. So actually with Carl, life is a lot easier for this particular floor. Okay, so Carl is, I think, pretty much an essential for this floor, especially because he has 2 4-man AoEs, so you definitely want to use that to quickly kill the minions together. So Kris will cast an AoE death. That will be his right skill, okay, his skill 2, and then immediately you have to cleanse it with Lucy's top skill. Lucy can cast 3 debuffs immediately, so this is going to be very, very useful to get rid of all the deaths without even having death immunity. If I'm not wrong, Kris also does cast silence, that is why Jin is here. Okay, and in between, you just have to heal up, reset your skills, heal up as much as you can, and use Jin's attacks. You can even use Pascal's attacks to single target the minions. Okay, you can then also use Carl's attacks. Carl is super efficient here, able to do a lot of splash damage and get rid of the minions down to their immortality stages in very short number of turns. You definitely want to save Carl's top skill for later when more minions are in their immortality mode, because it does have buff removal effect. So when 3 minions are already in immortality, I think it is adequate to use the buff removal here. Of course, if you would like to really play even better, you can time it where all 4 are having immortality and you just remove them all in one shot. Alternatively, those who do not have Carl can actually use Teo here, because a strong Teo can actually kill the minions more effectively as well together, because he does have a 5-man AoE. So this is something you can actually try. So once the minions are down, we can start firing Pascal's skills now, and you have to get his HP down to below 50% so that Carl will then be used. Pascal does do a lot of damage here, so it actually lets the run go a lot faster. Okay, at this point, he is now immune to magic damage, so Carl will be the one to fire off. And of course, Carl is very strong. Okay, so you don't have to worry too much about it. And of course, always remember to cleanse your death. Otherwise, there could be a risk of getting hit with death and your units will die later on. So Kris being Kris, he will revive with Immortality, and he has a 20-turn Immortality. This is where Carl's buff removal will come in very handy, because it immediately removes the 20-turn Immortality and you can finish the floor very easily. So it's not that hard already with Carl, okay, but what happens if Carl dies? Later we'll see. This is the 5 medal clear. We are basically just giving Kris defense boost by 54%, so to be honest, the run will become very long, much longer than what you saw earlier, but nonetheless, it's okay. So start off here with Lena's buff to buff damage output, and then cleanse with Lucy, cleanse the death away. After this, proceed to heal, because as you can see, Kris does do a lot of damage, especially on Carl, who is kind of like a glass cannon here. Once you have set up everything accordingly, then proceed to use Carl's skills to try to get rid of the minions as soon as you can. You can also use Pascal's skills and Jin's skills to help you with that, but damage wise, of course, Jin won't be doing that much damage. Pascal can potentially snipe a good amount of HP off, as you can see. You can also use Lucy's bottom skill when necessary to cool down Pascal, so that you can actually cycle Pascal's single target even faster. But again, always keep in mind the debuff removal and try to heal up with Lucy or Lee and Lena, because Carl will take a lot of damage, unfortunately. So as you can see here, we have 1 minion down to Immortality already, and another one very soon. Sometimes you might think you want to hold it off. Well, you could, but you have to really gauge how your units are, especially in terms of HP. And I think at this point, when 2 units are already down to immortality, two zombies I mean, using the buff remover here won't be such a bad idea. Because as you can see, it does take some time for the other two to get into immortality, and perhaps by then your cow skill will also be cooled down already.
I win.
So because Pascal may not have much use in this phase of killing the minions, you can actually use his bottom skill to gain damage nullification so that he won't take too much damage from Kris, because Kris can also deal quite a lot of damage on Pascal. And with Cow's skill already cooled down, you can use it to buff remove and kill the final minions, and then proceed to attack with Pascal now. So you can see the damage output is severely nerfed because of the defense increase buff that we gave to Kris. So this will be a very long drawn battle, unfortunately, if you want to go for medals. Otherwise, if you are happy with the clear, then just don't give the defense increase. So I actually speed up this part of the run all the way to the part where Kris will get his magic immunity. Because over here it's really just about healing and using Pascal's skills. You can't really use Cow's skills, you can't really use Jin's skills. So you're really limited to the amount of skills you have. And unfortunately, this is just the gimmick and how it is. There's really nothing much you can do. So now that Kris is down to 50% HP, Cow's skills can be active now. So proceed to use Cow's skills, and this will be the start of your physical damage phase for this particular floor. You can also use Jin's skills. Pascal will now retire and take a back seat, take a rest in the corner. So here we are very close to killing Kris already, and once Kris procs his 20 turn immortality, it is so unfortunate that Cow dies here. So here you will see how to deal with this 20 turn immortality. I have some tips for you. Mainly, of course, it is just a game about survival, but take note also, you do have a 300 turn count to clear this. Okay, so we're left with about 75 turns at this point in time, and one tip I can give you is that you can consider letting your units die after Kris becomes immortal, so that the turns actually run faster, because once there are lesser units on the team, Kris can actually use his basic attacks in much shorter sequence, right? So that's actually going to help you save you some turns, because effectively if we are looking at a party of 5 versus Kris, it will take 6 turns for Kris's immortality to go down by 1 turn. However, on the other hand, if you have only 1 unit on the field, then he will take his turns more often, and then he will use up his immortality duration. Of course, if your healer is the one that is dying, then that's not the most ideal, because you kind of want your healers, but if Jin dies, it's completely fine. In fact, even if Pascal dies, I think you're also fine, because Kris is already down to 1 HP, so all you need is your healers to be able to sustain themselves, and you'll be fine. And as you can see here, we really come in so close to 298 turns right before 300. So I hope this video helped, and if it did, do give it a like and subscribe to my channel. I'll be showing you guys the Tower of Trials normal odd numbered floors in one big video tomorrow. Stay tuned for that. Thank you so much and see you!